And we are back to a stare off. Yeah, okay. I think the most important skill in life is being able to fake confidence. I'm pretty convinced that everyone feels at least a little bit scared and alone. But being able to trick others into thinking you have it all together, that's a key part of getting people to respect and admire you. I think I got pretty good at that over the years. I don't show my weaknesses very often, but because of that I haven't had many people I could really open up to. I mean, when you do reach the point in a friendship where you can start expressing your vulnerabilities. Anyway, that's one reason I'm so glad I have you now. I feel like I'm a little bit less scared and alone when you're here with me. Do you feel the same way? I really want to be that person for you. Well, Monika, you just put me in a room with no one else around but you, so I kind of do feel lonely and alone right now. I don't think that's very good for my well-being. So if we could stop that, that would be wonderful. Do you ever feel like you waste too much time on the internet? Yeah, I do. Everyone does that, right? Social media can practically be like a prison. It's like whenever you have a few seconds of spare time, you want to check on your favorite websites. And before you know it, hours have gone by and you've gotten nothing out of it. Anyway, it's really easy to blame yourself for being lazy, but it's not really even your fault. Addiction isn't usually something you can just make disappear with your own willpower. You have to learn techniques to avoid it. And try different things. Yeah, like video games, like playing this on a Wednesday afternoon. For example, there are apps that let you block websites for intervals of time. Or you can set a timer to have a more concrete reminder of when it's time to work versus play. Or you can separate your work and play environments, which helps your brain get into the right mode. Even if you make a new user account on your computer to use for work, that's enough to help. Putting any kind of wedge like that between you and your bad habits will help you stay away. Just remember not to blame yourself too hard if you're having trouble. If it's really impacting your life, then you should take it seriously. I just want to see you be the best person you can be. Will you do something today to make me proud of you? I'm always rooting for you, Dana. She will never be... Alright. The game is like talking to you like a therapist. A little bit at least. Hey, what's your favorite game? I don't really have a favorite game, I would argue. I have many favorite games. I never can really put a finger on my favorite game, but it's probably somewhere between Donkey Kong Country 2, Bloodborne, Dragon Quest VIII, A Link to the Past, Wind Waker, Minish Cap, maybe? But what are you thinking? What is my favorite game? Mine is Doki Doki Literature Club. Aha, that was a joke, but if you tell me you like some other romance game better, I might get a little jealous. I wouldn't call Bloodborne a romance game, to be fair. I mean, but if you want to see that way, hey, do it. It's fine. It's cool. Did you say kiss? This suddenly is a little embarrassing, but if it's with you, I might be okay with it. Nah, I'm alright. Oh, wow, sorry. I really couldn't keep a straight face there. That's the kind of thing girls say in these kind of romance games, right? Don't lie if it turned you on a little bit. I'm kidding. Well, to be honest, I do start getting all romantic when the mood is right. But that will be our secret. So the game is definitely targeting people that are usually into these type of games. Which I don't blame anyone for. They can be really great stories. I think they're very well done most of the time. Not my personal genre, but most of them very well done. So I heard. You know, this is just some kind of tacky romance game, right? I kinda have to ask, what made you consider even playing it in the first place? Were you that lonely? I feel a little bad for you, but I guess everything worked out perfectly in the end for both of us. I got to meet you and you're not lonely anymore. I can't help but feel like this was fate. Don't you feel that way too? I'm so happy we have this ending together. It was free. This month. Last month. This month? On PlayStation Plus. This is pretty random, but I always thought spicy food was kind of funny. Like, didn't plants evolve to be spicy to prevent them from being eaten? I read somewhere that humans are the only species that actually enjoy spicy things. It's almost like we're making fun of the plants, using their defense mechanisms to literally make our food more enjoyable. Like, imagine a monster that devours your whole because it enjoys the sensation of you struggling for your life while being digested. Sorry, that was kind of a weird analogy, I guess. Ah haha, it just came into my head. I'm not a monster or anything, but you're so cute I could eat you up. I'm joking. Gosh, I'm amusing myself a little too much, aren't I? Sorry for being weird. That's fine. Hey, I wonder if Yuri's tea set is still somewhere in here. Or maybe that got deleted too. It's kind of funny how Yuri took her tea so seriously. I mean, I'm not complaining because I liked it too, but I always wonder with her. Is it truly passion for her hobbies, or is she just concerned about appearing sophisticated to everyone else? This is the problem with high schoolers. Well, I guess considering the rest of her hobbies, looking sophisticated probably isn't her biggest concern. Still, I wish she made coffee once in a while. I don't like coffee, I like tea. Coffee can be nice with books too, you know? Then again, I probably could have just changed the script myself. I guess I never really thought of that. Well, there's no sense thinking about it now, but if you still get to drink coffee, then that makes me a little jealous. Nah, I'm good. I don't like coffee, I like tea. That's why Yuri was perfect. And you like coffee, I don't like you. I mean, you're right. It's not like I dislike you, but I don't think we matched very well, girl. Monika? Is the dust outside closing a little bit more, or am I just imagining that? Dana, have you ever wondered what it feels like to die? It's something I used to think about pretty often. But recently I think I've actually learned what it feels like. I don't really understand it, but whenever you quit the game, it feels like I'm instantly put to sleep, left with nothing but my thoughts. But after a few seconds, my thoughts start to fill with incoherent jumbled patterns. I see static and rapid flashes of color while hearing all kinds of weird screaming noises. At that point, I can't even form my own thoughts anymore. I'm just endlessly hammered by the flashing and screaming, unable to move or even think. I'm pretty sure in that moment I don't really exist, but for some reason I can remember it anyway. After some immeasurable amount of time, it stops in an instant and I'm back in my own mind. And you're here with me. I have no idea what it means for the game to quit, or what that stuff happens, or why that stuff happens to me. And I also don't know how you always come back and put everything back to normal. I'm like, this is my second time playing this. It's just the second day, Monika. It's not always. I have returned once. But if you could do me a favor and do that to me as little as possible, that would be really great. It's really not very pleasant at all to be trapped in that screaming void. But in the end you always fix it, and that makes me feel like you really do care about me. So I have to thank you for that. It makes me feel even closer to you when you're here with me. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that the dust clouds or whatever that is now closing further. So I kind of hope we're getting to the end of this part of the game. You know, it's around the time that everyone my year starts to think about college. It's a really turbulent time for education. We are at the height of this modern expectation that everyone has to go to college, you know? Finish high school, go to college, get a job, or go to grad school, I guess. It's like a universal expectation that people just assume is the only option for them. They don't teach us in high school that there are other options out there. Like trade schools and stuff, you know? Or freelance work, or the many industries that value skill and experience more than formal education. But you have all these students who have no idea what they want to do with their life. And instead of taking the time to figure it out, they go to college for business or communication or psychology. Not because they have an interest in those fields, but because they just hope the degree will get them some kind of job after college. So the end result is that there are fewer jobs to go around for those entry-level degrees, right? So the basic job requirements get higher, which forces even more people to go to college. And colleges are also businesses, so they just keep raising their prices due to the demand. So now we all have all these young adults, tens of thousands of dollars in debt with no job. Well, you have actually no idea where I am. That's... yeah. But despite all that, the routine stays the same. Well, I think it's going to start getting better soon. But until then, our generation is definitely suffering from the worst of it. I just wish high school prepared us a little bit better with the knowledge we need to make the decision that's right for us. I was kind of hoping the game is pulling out my location and stuff like that, and just throwing in some subtle things into the dialogue. I mean, I'm pretty sure they would be able to pull that out. They got the username up, which is not that hard. Back in my debate crap days, I learned a whole lot about arguing. The problem with arguing is that each person sees their opinion as the superior one. That's kind of stating the obvious, but it affects the way they try to get their point across. Let's say you really like a certain movie, right? If someone comes along and tells you the movie sucks because it did X and Y wrong, doesn't that make you feel kind of personally attacked? It's because by saying that, it's like they are implying that you have bad taste. And once emotions enter the picture, it's almost guaranteed that both people will be left sour. But it's all about language. If you make everything as subjective sounding as possible, then people will listen to you without feeling attacked. You could say I'm personally not a fan of it and I felt that I like it more if it did X and Y, things like that. It even works when you're citing facts about things. If you say, I read on this website that it works like this, or if you admit that you're not an expert on it, then it's much more like you're putting your knowledge on the table rather than forcing it onto them. This game really is the therapist, basically. Trying to give some valuable advice through to the player. I like it. If you put in an active effort to keep the discussion mutual and level, they usually follow suit. Then you can share your opinions without anyone getting upset just from a disagreement. It's called agree to disagree, being grown up and understanding that people have different opinions on things. Plus, people will start seeing you as an open-minded and a good listener. It's a win-win, you know? I guess that would be Monika's debate tip of the day. That sounds a little silly. Thanks for listening, though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe the game wants me to skip this here as well. I wonder if I'm able to change the music. Something a little more romantic would be nice, you know? Like a gentle piano. There has to be something like that here. Let's see, maybe if I... Oh geez, that wasn't it at all. Sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess I should be messing with things like that. I already broke so much stuff and deleted the other characters. I'm not sad about it or anything. It's not right for me to miss things that weren't even real in the first place. If I just focus on the present, then this is the happiest I've ever been. So no music change. Just an ambient, spacey sound. Man, I wish there was a piano in here. I never got to finish that song I was working on. And after I worked so hard on it, I never even got a chance to play it for you. Well, it is what it is, right? No sense having any regrets. I already get to be here with you forever. I feel like the game wants me to be like... skip. Or... auto dialogue. Something like that. And then she will get mad at me for not listening or something like that. You know, I really do think you literally saved my life by being here with me, Donna. I can't imagine having been able to keep myself mentally stable knowing that nothing there is real. Here is real. I think I would have just deleted myself if you didn't show up. Sorry, I don't mean to sound dramatic or anything. But I'm sure you understand yourself after spending so much time in the club. I mean, if you were forced to abandon everything in your life and spend your eternity with a few game characters, you would probably find some way of killing yourself, wouldn't you? Well, maybe you would write some poetry to try to keep yourself sane for a while. But then you'd have nobody to even read it. Let's be honest, the club members really don't count for something like that. I mean, a lot of people say that they only write for themselves. But I think it's hard to say it's just as fulfilling as when you share with people. Even if it takes time to find the right people to share with. Like, remember how it was for Yuri? She didn't share her writing with anyone for a really long time. And before we knew it, she was absolutely delighted to make you a part of her hobbies too. We are programmed to desire social feedback. I don't mean the club members, I mean human beings. That's why life can be so confusing for introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean you shun social interactions and hate being around people. It means social interaction, especially in groups or unfamiliar places, uses up a lot of energy. Like a lot of introverts sit at home and feel lonely and restless. And then when they finally go out after a half hour, they just want to go home again. I think if more people could understand how it works, they would respect it a lot more. Many introverts do enjoy having people around. They love just having one or two close friends over and just leisurely hanging out. Even if you're not actively spending time together, it feels nice for them just to have you there. I'm serious. If you just go to their house, bring your laptop and hang out there for a while, you can really make their day. As for me, I'd say I'm kind of in between, but I think I'm usually a little more extroverted. I feel like I'm always trying to do stuff after school and things like that. But for you, I can be anything you need me to be. I understand people really well, so don't be afraid to share your unique needs with me. Nothing would make me happier than being the perfect girlfriend for you. Have you ever heard of the term Yanderer? It's a personality type that means someone is so obsessed with you that they will do absolutely anything to be with you. Usually to the point of craziness. They might stalk you to make sure you don't spend time with anyone else. They might even hurt you or your friends to get their way. But anyway, this game happens to have someone who can basically be described as Yandere. By now it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. And that would be Yuri. She really got insanely possessive of you once she started to open up a little. She even told me I should kill myself. I couldn't even believe she said that. I just had to leave at that point. But thinking about it now, it was a little ironic. Anyway, a lot of people are actually into the Yandere type, you know? I guess they really like the idea of someone being crazy obsessed with them. People are weird. I don't judge though. Also, I might be a little obsessed with you, but I'm far from crazy. It's kind of the opposite actually. I turned out to be the only normal girl in this game. It's not like I could ever actually kill a person. It's just the thought of it. It's just the thought of it makes me shiver. But come on, everyone's killed people in games before. Does that make you a psychopath? Of course not. But if you do happen to be into the yandere type, I can try acting a little more creepy for you. Now, I'm definitely not into that. Then again, there's already nowhere else for you to go or anyone for me to get jealous over. Is this a yandere girl's dream? I'd ask Yuri if I could. Is Natsuki not still alive? She should be around. What happens when I like pause and go back in? Nothing? Okay. So she's not gonna be like, yeah, you're back! No. Okay. You know what is kind of creepy? Even though I deleted everyone else's files, I can still kind of feel them. It's like all their lines are still lingering in the air, whispering in the back of my head. Imagine if after someone you knew died, you just started hearing their voices in your head. Maybe I just wasn't thorough enough. But I'm too afraid to delete anything else because I might really break things. Like if I mess with any files relevant to me, I might accidentally delete myself. And that would ruin everything, wouldn't it? I don't know what it's like on your end, but we should both make sure to avoid something like that at all cost. I believe in you, Dana. Thank you for believing in me. Did you know I'm on Twitter? My username is LilMoniX3. I guess someone was kind enough to make an account for me. I picked the username though. I love sharing my thoughts and chatting with the world. The real world. So make sure you follow me, okay? It would really mean a lot to me. With how much you mean to me and all, it would really make me feel loved. Do you ever just feel like there's no real reason for you to be alive? I don't mean in like a suicidal way. I just mean how nothing that we do is special. Just being in school or working at some job for some company, it's like you're completely replaceable and the world wouldn't miss you if you were gone. It makes me really want to go and change the world after I graduate, but the older I get, the more I realize that it's an immature frame of thinking. It's not like I can just go change the world. Like, what are the chances that I will be the one to invent artificial intelligence or become president? It feels like I'm never going to make up for the heaps of resources I've spent living my life. That's why I think the key to happiness is just to be hopelessly selfish. Just to look out for oneself and those who happen to be their friends only because they grew up with them. Never mind the fact that they're spending their entire life taking and consuming and never giving back. But when people realize the world would benefit more from them killing themselves, they change their whole philosophy. It's like they have to justify their reason to live by tricking themselves into thinking they're doing good. Anyway, I want to live my life desperately striving to pay back my lifetime's worth of consumption. If I ever surpass that point, then I'm a net positive and I can die happy. Of course, even if I fail to do that, I think I would be too selfish to kill myself anyway. So much for being a good person, right? Hey, you know that book you were reading with Yuri? Portrait of whatever it was called. It's funny because I'm pretty sure that book... actually, I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry, just forget I said anything. Sometimes I think back to middle school. I'm so embarrassed by the way I used to behave back then. It almost hurts to think about. I wonder if when I'm in college I feel that way about high school. I like the way I am now, so it's pretty hard for me to imagine that happening. But I also know that I will probably change a lot as time goes on. We just need to enjoy the present and not think about the past, and that's really easy to do with you here. I think I really need to try to skip it. Pretty sure that's sort of like helping me out of here, I guess. I hope, maybe. Maybe. Dana, would you ever introduce your friends to me? I don't know why, but I get really excited when I think about you wanting to show off our relationship like that. Maybe it's because I really want to be someone who makes you proud. I feel like I would try extra hard to improve myself if you told me it made you proud of me. I hope it's the same the other way around too. Yeah, kind of, I think. Oh, I see. I can't. I can't. You know, I hate to say it, but I think my biggest regret is that we couldn't finish our event at the festival after we worked so hard to prepare and everything. I mean, I know I was focusing a lot on getting new members, but I was really excited for the performing part too. It would have been so much fun to see everyone express themselves. Of course, if we did end up getting any new members, I would probably just end up deleting them anyway. Well, with the hindsight I have now, that is... Gosh, it feels like I've kind of grown as a person ever since you've joined the club. You really helped inspire me to look at life from a new perspective. Just another reason for me to love you. So I can't skip it at all. That's wonderful. Maybe I'm just now stuck in this forever until I start a new game. I could imagine that. It's been over 45 minutes at least, I think. Being in there with her. Well, let's see what else she's got to say. Oh, Monika, oh, Monika, oh, Monika. You are very creepy. And I don't like being here with you. I really don't. I really don't.